Nearly 2 years after Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown and killed in Libya, his son, Saif al-Islam, is yet to stand trial for alleged war crimes committed during the 2011 uprising. Now, he is set for a hearing in Libya in August, but International Criminal Court judges fear that he won't receive a fair trial there. Libya is meanwhile defying an ICC ruling by refusing to hand him over to The Hague, insisting on a trial at home. Well, let's examine the man and his story. Saif al-Islam was educated in London. He was seen as a crucial figure in building relations between Libya and the West. But in early 2011, revolt. The uprising kicks off, eventually winning NATO support. Now, amid allegations that he and his family committed crimes against humanity, the ICC issued arrest warrants. Just a few months later, Muammar Gaddafi was killed by the rebels. Now, the chief ICC prosecutor had confirmed in formal talks about the surrender of the younger Gaddafi. He was eventually captured by a rebel group and apparently had parts of his fingers amputated. Libyan authorities wanted a trial in Tripoli, but the ICC had demanded that he be handed over to The Hague, a request which was rejected. Now, 4 delegates from the court were detained in Libya for a month after attempting to get documents to him. Gaddafi's son has made 2 appearances in a Libyan court, and the ICC again rejected Libya's efforts to hold the trial by themselves. Well, for the latest on the situation, we turn now to RT's Paula Sleer.
Although the International Criminal Court has ruled that Libya must extradite Saif al-Islam to The Hague so that he can face charges of crimes against humanity, the Libyans won't allow it. They want to try him at home. Nick Kaufman, who is a former Israeli lawyer hired by Gaddafi's daughter Aisha, says he needs to be handed to the ICC on the basis of a UN Security Council decision.
The Security Council gave the International Criminal Court the mandate to investigate crimes which were committed in Libya after the revolution. The International Criminal Court, carrying out the will and the wish of the international community, investigated the matter and issued 2 warrants for arrest, one for Saif al-Islam and one for Abdullah Senussi. Now, if the Libyans wish to try these 2 people, that is their right, but they have to request permission to do so from the International Criminal Court.
The Libyan government has challenged the right of the International Criminal Court to try Saif. It argues that the Hague-based court has no jurisdiction because it only intervenes if the local justice system is not functioning. And those ruling Libya say that their justice system is operating well. But Professor Yehudit Ronen, who is an expert on Libya, disagrees. She says the country is in a state of collapse.
I am not sure that it will be right to assume that there is a government in Libya today. There is no army, no police, armed militants are in control. Even if they give Saif a trial, the Libyans always surprise us, so I can't really say how the trial will go. I'm not even sure if it will begin and how just and objective it will be.
The question needs to be asked, why has Saif's trial not yet begun? He's been held captive since November 2011, and it's not even clear exactly where he's being held. When the Libyan rebels were fighting against Gaddafi, they proclaimed loudly that he and his family should be court-martialed. Now they're quiet. It does seem as if once they got into power, they believe that the only ones they need to listen to are themselves. Paula Sleer, RT, Tel Aviv.
And if the proceedings do continue in Libya, Saif al-Islam will likely be executed. That is according to his attorney, John Jones, who had spoken to my colleague earlier.
He's being held in appalling conditions, certainly in terms of his mental state, because solitary confinement for any period of time, for a few weeks, has been shown by scientific studies to be extremely damaging, and he's been in that condition for 20 months. It's impossible for lawyers to see him, and even if they do see him, they can't see him in any circumstances where he can speak freely. The last time he was visited by an ICC delegation, the meeting was covertly recorded, and so he knows that, and he knows that he can't complain to anyone who visits him about his conditions. He can't say anything meaningful about his defence because it's being used against him. He's now being prosecuted. In addition to possible war crimes trials, he's been prosecuted for basically saying that he wanted to be tried in The Hague and exercise his right to a fair trial.
But if indeed Saif al-Islam is actually tried back at home in Libya, what do you think he's facing there?
Well, he's facing a show trial clearly an entirely unfair trial, a trial in which he's not going to be able to get any defence witnesses to testify on his behalf because they'll be too terrified to testify, and in which at the end of it all he's going to be executed because the penalties carry the death penalty, and it's quite clear from pronouncements by officials in Libya that they want to carry out the death penalty if it's imposed.